Your husband, he's cheating on you, you know? I just saw him entering a motel with a middle-aged woman.
What? You're kidding, right?
I was shocked by the message from a friend I hadn't been in touch with for years. It was unthinkable that my husband would cheat. Even when my father needed care, my husband was the first to suggest we live together. But then I saw the photo my friend sent, and I was stunned. I'm home. We're back.
You traitor! Mom, you were cheating with him? What were you thinking?
Huh? Is it already out? In the photo, my husband was holding hands with my mother, entering a motel. I hoped it was a mistake. But they both admitted to the affair easily.
Then just leave. Of course, I plan to live with him, but I won't give up your father's inheritance. I'll leave, but I won't divorce.
If you can accept that, I'll leave right now.
Well, there's no point in us staying married.
I'll divorce you. Their words filled me with anger, but my wealthy father had a plan.
Fine. Just leave now. Thanks for being understanding. Next time we meet will be at his funeral.
They left with those harsh words. Then it was just my father and me, but his condition worsened, and he passed away. At the funeral, I was saying goodbye to my father when...
Long time no see. Looks like the inheritance will come sooner than I thought.
Yeah.
Inheritance? You too, now strangers, won't get anything.
My name is Emily. I'm a housewife, living with my husband. We met through work, fell in love at first sight, and quickly started dating. He treated me like a princess and made our dating period truly enjoyable. I knew I could have a happy marriage with him.
Will you marry me? I'll make you happy for the rest of your life. Thank you. I'm looking forward to our future together.
I immediately accepted his proposal. Soon after, everything was arranged, and we began our new life as a married couple. Our married life was as happy as I imagined. Of course, we were newlyweds, but we supported each other and I believe we built a healthy relationship.
Hey, my parents want to celebrate our marriage with dinner.
Is that okay?
Of course. I consider your parents like mine. I'm happy.
He lost his parents young and treated mine like his own since we were dating. That's why my parents also liked him, treating him like a son. So, we often did things together as a family and there was no problem at all. Then, one day after a year.
Hey, can we talk a bit?
What's up?
It's about my dad. He's been sick, went to the hospital checkups, and it's getting worse. He'll need care soon.
I see. I hadn't told my husband to avoid worrying him, but my father had been sick. He regularly went to the hospital for checkups and had been healthy in recent years, so I hadn't been too worried. His condition suddenly worsened, needing constant care.
I don't want to be a burden to you, but my mom has a hernia, so she can't take care of Dad alone, and my family home is a 2-hour drive from here.
Since I have work, we can't move from this area. Let's have your parents come here. I'll look for a place with more rooms. I was really surprised by his suggestion to live together. I hadn't expected that at all. No matter how well my husband got along with my parents, living together should have been a challenge. Plus, with the need for caregiving, it would certainly be demanding for him too. But he suggested it without any hesitation. Deep down, I truly felt grateful to be married to him.
Really? Are you sure?
Of course it's okay. I can't just say we have no relation while your parents are going through tough times. Besides, your parents are like mine too. I'll do anything I can to help. I felt forever indebted to him. With deep gratitude, I thanked him and shared the news with my parents. They were thrilled, and 3 months later, we started living together. As a housewife, I took on most of the caregiving, but we made sure to keep our living spaces separate.
I'm home.
Welcome home. I thought we'd all eat together today, so I bought some pizza. It's been half a year since we started living together, and things have settled down, but my husband remains as kind as ever. Even though I handle most of the caregiving, he's still around on his days off. Living together means we can't completely separate our lives from caregiving. But he's never shown any signs of discontent. However, I started feeling a bit uneasy. Because my husband and my mother seemed unusually close. I'm going out for a bit.
Okay, but where are you going?
I promised to take your mom out for lunch and then shopping. She hasn't been out much lately, and I thought it might be a nice break for her. I'm happy that my husband and mother get along, and I'm not complaining. But lately, they seem too close. I don't suspect anything inappropriate between them. But they've been going out together often, and it's been over a month since I've gone out alone with my husband. Of course, I have my caregiving duties and don't have time for outings, but I've started to feel a bit uneasy about their relationship.
Where are those two? Out again?
Yes, they said they're going to eat and then shop.
I see. Maybe mom is stressed from this living situation.
What? After my mother left, I went to see my father, who looked serious and opened up about their relationship. I had been the main caregiver, and I didn't think their relationship was that strained, but issues arose when I had to leave the house for city hall errands.
Actually, even before we started living together, your mom complained about caregiving. The other day, when Emily wasn't here, I asked her to help me go to the bathroom, and she got angry, saying she wanted to divorce me.
Really?
Why?
That doesn't make sense.
Your mom is probably tired from caring for me, and the anger might be due to the stress from before we started living together. So, I hate to ask, but I need you, Emily, to take care of me.
Of course. I plan to take care of you, don't worry. I was shocked to hear that my parents' relationship had deteriorated this much. They used to be so close when I was younger. But what happened? My father started a company when I was little. And my mother supported him through tough times. I always thought she would support him no matter what. But I guess I was wrong. While I was pondering this, my husband called. Hello? So, we ended up quite far away and might miss the last train, so we are going to stay in a business hotel. What? Miss the last train? It's only 8 o'clock. We still have plans, and it doesn't look like I can get back. Besides, I'm off tomorrow, so it's no problem if we don't come home. Take care. With that, he hung up. It's true that there's no issue if they don't come back. I handle the housework and caregiving, and there's nothing special happening, but after hearing about my mother from my father, I wasn't in the best mood. Thinking calmly, it's a bit strange for them to stay out overnight. It's good they get along, but there should be some boundaries. It's like there's no consideration for my father. Being family doesn't mean you can be overly familiar. As my anger started to rise, I took deep breaths to calm myself.
Dad, it looks like they're not coming back tonight. They're staying out.
Staying overnight?
Is that okay?
Even so,
I don't care anymore. Let them do whatever they want. I'm disappointed in Mom too. Since it's just the two of us today, let's order some food and have dinner.
Oh, okay. Dad was clearly shocked by my husband and mother's behavior, but that's expected. No one can remain calm after such betrayal. Yet, I couldn't confront them or show my suspicions, that would be no joke. I tried not to let it bother me. But, as if emboldened, the two of them went out again the next week and didn't return until late at night. I was reaching my limit of patience, and then, less than a month later, a call came.
Hello. Do you have a moment?
Yes, but why the sudden call?
I hate to say this. Your husband is cheating on you.
The call was from a friend I hadn't spoken to in a while, and she's not one to joke about such things. But is my husband cheating? Unthinkable. Sure, I had felt some distance from him lately, but he knows right from wrong. He's not that kind of person. There's no way that's true. If this is a bad joke, please stop.
I thought the same at first. But I saw him holding hands with a middle-aged woman. I took a photo for you to see.
She sent me a photo of my husband entering a motel, hand in hand with a woman.
I was speechless when I saw the woman's face. It was unmistakably my mother. They were walking closely, hand in hand like lovers. I was at a loss for words. How could they betray their family like this? What do they think of me and my father? I was furious but managed to thank my friend and went straight to my father. That evening. I'm home. We're back.
Wait a minute, both of you. This is not a welcome back situation. What is this?
I confronted them at the entrance with the photo my friend had sent. They looked surprised at first, but then exchanged glances and returned to normal. Why aren't they more shocked? No signs of panic. What's going on? It's out now, sooner than expected. Well, we were going to tell you anyway, so it's fine.
Wait, what do you mean?
It means I love Sally with all my heart. This forbidden love may have spiced things up, but I'm going to live with Sally from now on. I prefer a robust man like him over that frail old man who can't protect me. Their attitude, as if they'd done nothing wrong, drove me over the edge. How dare they treat people like this? They destroyed our family and still justify themselves with such ease? Shouldn't they be apologizing?
So you're not going to apologize?
Cheating happens because the cheated partner is at fault. Don't blame others for it.
Mom, do you even hear what you're saying?
I think I'm saying nothing wrong. If you were cheated on, it's your fault. Unbelievable. They really think they've done nothing wrong. Arguing with them is pointless. It's a waste of time and energy. I had already discussed with my father what to do next.
I don't care anymore, but you two need to leave. I have no use for cheaters.
I don't mind leaving, but I won't divorce your father. If we can agree on a separation, that's fine.
What? That makes no sense. You cheated, so of course Dad will divorce you.
I don't care if you divorce me, but not your parents. Do you know how much Sally has sacrificed for that man? If they divorce, she'll lose the inheritance. We've given so much, it's only fair to get what's owed. Or give us the entire inheritance share, and I'll leave you. No way. What they're saying is ridiculous. They can't demand an inheritance after a divorce. But they justify their affair as if they're right. They probably think that everything they are saying is correct, and if they continue like this, the discussion will only become parallel. I decided to discuss the situation with my father. All right, then it's settled. You both should leave right away. I have a clear plan in mind, so don't worry. After discussing the future with my father, I told my mother and husband to leave as planned. I decided to divorce my husband, but my parents remained married. You should have understood. The next time we meet will probably be at his funeral, so take care until then. After saying this, the two of them left. Following another discussion, we decided to move out of the oversized apartment we'd rented for 4 people. From then on, I didn't contact them and started living with my father. With the source of stress gone, there were certainly feelings of betrayal, disappointment, anger, but I focused on caring solely for my father. Just as I was getting used to living with my father and nearly forgetting about my ex-husband and mother, the unexpected happened. My father's condition suddenly worsened.
Dad, are you okay? I've called an ambulance, just hang on.
My father's consciousness began to fade, and he started convulsing. I knew it was serious and immediately called for an ambulance. He was rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery. For 2 hours, I waited in the hospital corridor, clenching my fists, hoping for his well-being. The surgery is done.
Is my father? Did he make it?
I'm sorry. We did everything we could, but it was not enough. At that moment, my mind went blank and I felt drained of all strength. It was inconceivable. He was just laughing with me a little while ago. What happened? I couldn't accept the reality, but no matter how emotional I got, it wouldn't bring my father back. The following days were extremely difficult, and I felt like I was losing my mind, but I was the only one to prepare for his funeral. Many people attended to say their final goodbyes, and I realized how much of a respected person my father was. It's been a while. Good that he went to heaven sooner than expected. Good? Don't joke about this. For us, it means the inheritance is coming. Why should we be scolded? Stop it. There's a line between what you can and can't say. As they said, my ex-husband and mother showed up at the funeral. I knew it was coming, but hearing such words was unbearable. However, this wasn't what my father wanted. I reminded myself to stay strong. So, you came to the funeral just for Dad's inheritance? We're just here to claim what we're entitled to inherit. Can we get to that part? All right, but you should read this first. I can't open the original here, but I've made copies. I handed them a copy of my father's will. They reluctantly took it from the envelope and began reading. At first, they frowned at the words of gratitude towards me, but as they read the final part, their confidence vanished. Wait, what do you mean by not leaving any inheritance? That's got to be invalid. Such a sly move. But even with this will, we can still claim our legal share, so we won't get nothing. They lost their composure and lashed out. I had anticipated this. But my father, who grew a successful business, wasn't foolish enough not to foresee their reaction. Legal share, for people who aren't family anymore? Why should strangers inherit anything? We're still not divorced, so we're not strangers. No, you're strangers. Dad filed for divorce, so you're unrelated now. Why don't you check with the office? At this, they were taken aback and momentarily lost for words. Perhaps they thought I wouldn't act against their shallow plan. But how could I? After such betrayal, did they really think they could easily claim the inheritance? Mom, I heard you fought with Dad over caregiving and even threatened to divorce him. Did you actually shove a divorce paper at him? What? No way! You mean you used that? That wasn't a fake document, it's legally valid. Honestly, even without that divorce paper, a divorce could have been filed due to the affair. It just shows how foolish you two are. No way! So, we're not getting any inheritance? As I've been saying, do you understand what you're asking for? Asking for an inheritance from someone you've divorced and become a stranger to. Do you realize how absurd that is? Saying this, I could see they were struggling to grasp reality. They might have planned to live off my father's inheritance, worth over $6 million, but there's no way such rights should exist for people who betrayed their family. That's why, as strangers, I don't want you at the funeral. Could you please leave? Wait a minute, but... Before living together, she was the one taking care of that old man. She deserves some inheritance. Let me remind you, Mom used Dad's money for lavish trips, luxury brands, and more. Despite all that, it's ridiculous to come claiming favors now. But... if you want to argue, go consult a lawyer. But I bet they'll turn you away for being so out of touch with reality. With that, they finally seemed to understand their position. They looked at each other, faces full of despair. It's a miserable life, being controlled by money. I turned away from them, focusing on saying my final goodbye to my father. Soon, they disappeared, and I haven't heard from them since. But, through a mutual acquaintance with my ex-husband, I got an interesting update. He came to me asking to borrow money. Were they that hard up for cash? Probably. They must have known Dad's time was short and spent recklessly. They lack foresight, as I told them about their affair. True. That makes sense. Well, they're getting what they deserve. Everyone knows about the affair, and they're starting to be cut off. Maybe now they'll realize the extent of their despicable actions. They acted without thinking of the consequences. And now they're suffering the price. They should continue to suffer for what they've done. Their actions have come back to haunt them. Cut off by acquaintances, with no one willing to help, they'll have to face the reality of their actions. I have no intention of forgiving them, even if they apologize now. What happens to my mother is none of my concern anymore. They've lived selfishly, so they can continue doing so. As for me, I've started a small business with the inheritance from my father, making enough to live on. I may not become like my father, but I won't waste what he taught and left me.
I'll live in a way that won't disappoint him, watching over me from heaven.